Are you truly living or just existing? Most people never ask themselves this question because they are too caught up in their daily routines. But if you stop for a second and reflect, are you really living the life you want? There was a man who spent his entire life working a job he didn't love, simply because it was safe. Every day, he woke up, went to work, came home, watched TV, and went to bed. One day, he realized that 30 years had passed and he had accomplished nothing truly meaningful. By then, it was too late to change. Are you heading down the same path? Why do we get stuck in mediocrity? Have you ever wondered why most people live repetitive lives without any breakthrough? It's not because they lack talent or opportunities, but because they are trapped by the safety effect. The brain's tendency to always choose the path of least resistance. Humans fear change. Your brain is wired to seek comfort and avoid risk. If an option feels safe, you will instinctively cling to it, even if it means sacrificing your true potential. You see this everywhere. Someone hates their job, but stays because they fear they won't find another one. Someone wants to get fit, but procrastinates because they fear the initial pain. Someone dreams of starting a business but never does, fearing failure. You think you're in control of your life, but in reality, you're just following a path your brain has mapped out to avoid discomfort. When you say, "I'll start tomorrow," it's not a promise. It's a lie. Tomorrow is the most deceptive trap you set for yourself. You always think you have time, but the truth is, time waits for no one. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment to act, you'll wake up 10 years later and realize you're still in the same place. Look at yourself. What have you been postponing for too long? What do you know you should do, but have never truly started? If you don't act now, 5 years from today, you'll still be asking yourself the same question, only with deeper regret. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." You are not controlled by your circumstances. You are not chained by fate. The only thing imprisoning you is your own mindset. Every limitation you see in life stems from how you perceive it. A person fails not because they lack opportunities, but because they believe they cannot succeed. A person stays stuck not because life is unfair, but because they convince themselves that nothing matters. You have two choices. Continue living as a victim, blaming circumstances, society, and everything beyond your control. Take full responsibility for your life, control your thoughts, and transform yourself into a stronger person. The Stoics never let their minds be manipulated by external events. Epictetus taught, "We suffer not from events, but from our perception of them." This means pain only exists if you allow it to exist. Lost your job? It's not the end. It's a chance to rebuild stronger. Failed at something? It's not real failure. It's a lesson pushing you forward. Feeling powerless? That's only true if you accept it as truth. Your mindset is the key to escaping mediocrity. When you control your thoughts, you control your life. Ask yourself, how many times have you held yourself back out of fear? How many opportunities have you missed because you thought you weren't ready? Remember, no one can stop you more than you can stop yourself. Right now, you can keep waiting for a miracle or start changing your mindset and taking action. The choice is yours. Part 1. Recognizing mediocrity and the procrastination trap. Practical exercise 1. Identifying your procrastination. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow," only for tomorrow to turn into next week, next month? And eventually, it never happens. It's time to face the harsh truth. Procrastination is your greatest enemy. Take a piece of a paper and write down 3 important things you've been procrastinating on for too long. It could be a goal you want to achieve but always find excuses not to start. A life change you know you need but keep avoiding. A bad habit you keep promising yourself you'll quit but never do. Be brutally honest with yourself. No one is judging you here, but if you don't face reality now, you will have to face the consequences later. Now ask yourself, if I don't change, where will I be in 5 years? Imagine yourself 5 years from now. Do you want to wake up one morning, look in the mirror, and realize that you are still the same person, stuck in the same problems, controlled by the same fears? Or do you want to see a stronger, more disciplined, more confident version of yourself? Someone who faced their procrastination, took action, and changed. The only difference between these 2 versions is the decision you make right now. Look at the list you just wrote. Will you take action, or will you continue to procrastinate? Look at your list of procrastinations. Do you see how you've built mental barriers? It's not your circumstances, not other people. You are the one holding yourself back. Now let's face the truth. Share with those around you. What have you been procrastinating on? What has stopped you from taking action? Don't be afraid or ashamed. We are not here to judge. We are here to grow. As you listen to others, you'll realize one thing. We all get stuck. But the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stagnant is how they respond to procrastination. The Stoics teach us one crucial principle. Nothing is a problem. The way you perceive it is what matters. Are you procrastinating because you're afraid to fail? See failure as a lesson. Are you procrastinating because it's hard? Remember, difficulty is what makes you stronger. Are you procrastinating because you don't feel ready? No one is ever truly ready. Action creates readiness. Ask yourself, will I continue to let fear control me, or will I take action now? You can sit there and think about why you haven't done it, or you can get up and start. The choice is yours. Eliminate your greatest enemy, yourself. Have you ever heard these voices in your head? I'm not good enough. I will fail. I can't do this. That is not the truth. That is your inner critic, the biggest enemy controlling you. What is the inner critic? It is the negative voice you've heard since childhood, shaped by judgments, fears, and past failures. Every time you face a challenge, it appears to hold you back, reminding you that you are not enough. You are not born with an inner critic. It is not an inherent part of you. It was created by society, by rejection, by underestimation, by failure. It is not reality. But if you believe it, it becomes your reality. Your inner critic is not a fortune teller. It does not predict your future. It is simply a collection of unchecked fears. If you let it control you, you will remain stuck forever. But if you learn to control it, you will break every limit in your life. How to control your inner critic? Identify the negative voice. Every time you hear your inner critic say, "I can't," stop and ask yourself, is this fact or just fear? If a friend was in your position, would you say the same thing to them? Challenge negative beliefs. If you think I will fail, Ask yourself, how do I know that? Have I truly tried? Instead of thinking, I'm not good, think I can learn and improve. Act despite fear. Successful people also have an inner critic, but they don't let it dictate their actions. Do the thing you fear. Every time you act, your inner critic weakens. Rewire your thoughts. When you fail, don't think, I'm not good enough. Instead ask, what did I learn? When your inner critic says, I can't, respond with, I can and I will try. You can't completely silence your inner critic, but you can learn to control it. Will you let it control you, or will you take control? The choice is yours. Part 2. Eliminating your biggest enemy, yourself. How to control your inner critic using Stoic philosophy. You are not hurt by what happens. You are hurt by how you interpret what happens. Epictetus said, we suffer not from events, but from our perception of them. Your inner critic has no real power, only the power you give it. Control how you respond, and you control your life. Practicing objective thinking to control your emotion. Step 1. Identify negative thoughts. Have you ever wondered why you always doubt yourself? Why is it that every time you face a challenge, that voice in your head says, I'm not good enough. I will definitely fail. I don't have what it takes. These thoughts don't appear randomly. They are the result of years of fear, judgment, and past failures. But here's the truth. They are not real. Inner critic, your greatest enemy. Your inner critic is the negative voice in your head, constantly reminding you that you are not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. Every time you have a chance to grow, it appears to hold you back. Want to start a new project? You're not good enough. Want to take a risk? You will definitely fail. Want to change your life? You don't have what it takes. These words don't reflect reality. They are just your fears speaking. But if you believe them, they become your reality. Pause and ask, is this true? Next time your inner critic speaks, pause and ask yourself, is this an objective fact or just fear? Do I have any evidence that this is true? If someone else were in my situation, would I say this to them? Chances are you will realize that you've been believing things that have no basis in reality. Real-life bumps examples of identifying negative thoughts. You might think, I'm not good enough to get promoted. Ask yourself, do I have any proof of that? Have you actually tried? Does your boss not value your work, or is that just your insecurity speaking? I will fail if I start a business. Ask yourself, can I learn from others? Millions of entrepreneurs failed before they succeeded, so why assume you can't? People will judge me if I try this. Ask yourself, do other people's opinions actually impact my life? In the end, you are responsible for your own journey, not every thought you have is true. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that everything they think is true. But in reality, your brain is not always right. We overreact to failure, so our brain warns us about every risk. We absorb societal standards, so we easily doubt ourselves when we don't meet expectations. We project negative outcomes, so we fear things that haven't even happened. But awareness is the first step to change. You can control your thoughts. Whenever your inner critic speaks, do this. Pause and ask, is this fact or just fear? Look for real evidence. Do I have a logical reason to believe this? Ask, if a friend were in my position, what advice would I give them? You can stop negative thoughts the moment they appear. You have power over your mind. Will you continue believing the limits set by your inner critic, or will you challenge them and rise above? Step 2. Find an alternative perspective. If someone else were in your situation, what advice would you give them? If a friend says, "I can't do this," would you agree or would you encourage them? If someone says, "I will definitely fail," would you tell them to quit? Now, apply that same advice to yourself. Don't treat yourself worse than you treat others. Step 3. Act despite fear. Stoics don't wait for emotions to change before they act. They act first and let emotions adjust later. If you fear public speaking, do it even if your voice shakes. If you fear failure, try, instead of imagining the worst. If you feel unready, start anyway. Action creates readiness. You can't control what happens, but you can control how you respond. Will you let fear stop you, or will you act and overcome it? Every time you doubt yourself, remember, your inner critic has no real authority. Only you decide what is true. Practical exercise 2. Rewrite the story in your head. Look at what your inner critic has been telling you. How many times have you thought, "I'm not good enough. I will fail. I don't have what it takes"? These thoughts are not facts. They are illusions you create to justify fear and procrastination. If you keep repeating them, they become beliefs, and those beliefs shape your reality. Write down 3 negative statements you often tell yourself. Now apply Stoic thinking to rewrite them from a different perspective. I'm not good enough. I may not be great now, but I will improve if I take action. I will fail. Failure is just a stepping stone to learning and becoming stronger. I don't have what it takes. Ability is not fixed. It is developed through effort and time. You have control over your thoughts. Change how you talk to yourself, and you will change your life. Group sharing and analysis. You are not the only one battling the inner critic. Everyone has negative thoughts that hold them back, but the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is not their circumstances. It's how they control their minds. Share your story. What has been holding you back? What thoughts have stopped you from moving forward? Once you say it out loud, you will realize you are not alone. As you listen to others, you'll see that your fears are not unique. Everyone has doubted themselves at some point, but those who choose to face their fears and change their mindset are the ones who move forward. How to change your mindset and control emotions with Stoic philosophy. Ask yourself, is this truth or just fear? View the problem as an outsider. If someone else was in your situation, what advice would you give them? Acknowledge emotions, but don't let them control you. Fear exists, but that doesn't mean you have to stop. You can't control everything in life, but you can control your thoughts. And once you master that, nothing can stop you. Part 3. Training willpower by difficulty. Why you must embrace hardship. You might want an easy life, but real growth only comes from hardship. The strongest people are not those who avoid challenges, but those who face them and use them to become better. Seneca once said, "The strong do not avoid adversity, they use it." Adversity is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It teaches you discipline, resilience, and adaptability. Those who always choose the easy path will never know how strong they truly are. You cannot become better when everything is comfortable. An athlete does not grow stronger by lifting light weights. A businessman does not succeed without experiencing failure. A person does not evolve if they never step outside their comfort zone. Every success is forged through hardship. If you avoid challenges, you are also avoiding your chance to grow. If you embrace challenges, you are stepping closer to the strongest version of yourself. Do you want to be the person who always seeks comfort, or the one who faces hardship and rises above it? The choice is yours to make, right now. The Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort. Want to be stronger? Put yourself in discomfort on purpose. The Stoics did not wait for adversity to strike before learning to handle it. They created challenges for themselves. This practice, called voluntary discomfort, is a way to forge an unbreakable mindset. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, practiced this regularly. Though wealthy, he would spend a few days each month living as if he were poor, eating simple food, wearing cheap clothes, and sleeping on the floor. Why? To remind himself that if he ever lost everything, he would still survive. Have you ever asked yourself, if I lost my comfort today, would I still be strong? If the answer worries you, it's time to train. How to practice voluntary discomfort. Live. Simply eat basic meals instead of luxurious ones. Wear plain clothes, avoiding unnecessary trends. Put yourself in situations of a scarcity to learn adaptability. Train yourself to endure inconvenience. Walk instead of driving. Sleep on the floor for a night instead of a soft bed. Take cold showers instead of warm ones. Confront your fears on purpose. Speak your mind, even when uncomfortable. Place yourself in awkward situations to handle pressure. Each time you challenge yourself, you are strengthening your mind's endurance. When life throws difficulties your way, you won't panic, because you have already trained for it. Do you want to be someone who crumbles under pressure, or someone who is always ready for any challenge? The answer lies in how you train yourself today. Practical exercise. 3. Stepping out of your comfort zone. How many times have you avoided something just because it made you uncomfortable? You are not lacking ability. You are avoiding the discomfort of facing it. Write down 3 difficult things you have been avoiding. A challenge you know would help you grow, but you keep running from it. A fear you have never dared to confront. An action that could change your life, but you haven't taken yet. Look at your list. Are you ready to confront at least one of these this week? Pick the one that scares you the most, makes you the most uncomfortable, and act on it. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Commit to yourself that you will do it, no matter how you feel. Nothing is more terrifying than looking back 5 years from now and realizing you are still the same, still trapped by the limits you created. You can keep waiting, or you can step out of your comfort zone and become the strongest version of yourself. The choice is yours. Have you taken action, or are you still making excuses? Look at your commitment. You chose one difficult action to take. Did you do it? Or did you fall back into the cycle of procrastination, waiting for a perfect moment that never comes? Share your specific action. What did you do to step out of your comfort zone? Did you feel anxious? Afraid? What happened when you actually faced the challenge? As you hear others' experiences, you'll realize every fear can be overcome if you just take action. But one-time action is not enough. Success does not come from a single breakthrough. It comes from consistent discipline. Maintaining discipline and motivation. 1. Stop relying on motivation. If you only act when you feel inspired, you will keep procrastinating. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. 2. Commit to someone else. When you make your goals public, you become accountable. Find someone with the same mindset to push and check on each other. 3. Set punishments and rewards. If you fail your commitment, impose a small penalty, e.g., sending money to a friend. If you succeed, reward yourself with something meaningful. 4. Track your progress. Each day, write down what you did, how you felt, and what you learned from your challenge. Are you ready to keep moving forward, or will you retreat back to your comfort zone? The difference between success and failure is the choice you make right now. Part 4. Commitment and action. Become the strongest version of you. Will you take responsibility for your life? No one is coming to save you. No one will pull you out of stagnation. You are the only one who can change yourself. If your life isn't where you want it to be, it's not anyone else's fault. It's your responsibility. If you lack discipline, if you procrastinate, if you let fear control you, that's your choice. You can keep making excuses, keep blaming circumstances, keep believing life is unfair, or you can rise up and take control of your destiny. No one controls your life except you. Every decision you make shapes your future. You can choose to procrastinate or take action, complain or solve, quit or push forward. If you are constantly dissatisfied with your life, but do nothing to change it, you have no right to complain. Success is not luck. It's preparation, persistence, and most importantly, personal responsibility. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with negative, lazy, and unmotivated people, you will absorb their habits. But if you choose to be around disciplined, strong-minded individuals who push themselves and never stop growing, you will naturally grow as well. Look at the people around you. Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? If the answer worries you, change it immediately. You have the power to decide who influences your life. If you continue to stay around people who add no value, you are only slowing yourself down. Act or keep waiting. The choice is yours. No one can force you to change. No one can make you do the right thing. No one can control your life except you. You can sit there, keep making excuses, keep waiting for a perfect opportunity that will never come. Or you can stand up, take responsibility, and start acting now. No one is stopping you but yourself. And no one can save you except you build a system of discipline and accountability. You can't rely on motivation. If you only act when you feel inspired, you will always procrastinate. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Step 1. Create a simple schedule to track progress. If you don't track your progress, you'll never know if you're on the right path. Discipline isn't just about action. It's about constant measurement and adjustment. Define a clear goal with a deadline. A vague goal is just a wish. If you say, "I want to be healthier," not specific enough. "I will exercise for 30 minutes every day for the next 3 months." This is a clear goal. You need a goal that is specific, measurable, and time-bound. Otherwise, you'll easily procrastinate and lose direction. Break it down into small, actionable steps. A bigger goal can feel overwhelming. Break it down. Big goal. Run 10 kilometers in 3 months. Step 1. Run 1 km per day for 2 weeks. Step number 2, increase to 3 kilometers per day in the next month. Step 3, reach 10 kls by the end of month 3. This way, you always have a clear plan instead of feeling lost. Record your progress daily to stay on track. You can't improve what you don't track. Write down what you accomplished every day. How much progress have you made? What obstacles are holding you back? What adjustments do you need to make? Use a notebook or an app to track your progress daily. When you see how far you've come, you'll be motivated to keep going. Without a plan, you're just dreaming. But with a tracking system, you're truly changing. Step 2, commit to someone else for accountability. You can set goals for yourself, but without someone to check in on you, it's easy to give up. That's why having an accountability partner is crucial. Choose a friend or mentor to check your progress. Find someone who is disciplined, goal-oriented, and genuinely cares about your progress. Don't pick someone who will let you off the hook. Choose someone who will push you when you slack off. If you're working on fitness, pick a workout partner and update each other daily. If you're developing a skill, choose a mentor experienced in that field. If you're building discipline, share your goals with someone who leads a disciplined life. Set a penalty if you fail to follow through. The pain of loss is often more motivating than rewards. If there are no consequences, you'll find excuses to quit. If you don't complete your task, send money to a friend. If you skip a workout, do an extra difficult challenge. If you break your commitment, announce it publicly in a group. Make sure the penalty is something you won't want to face. Regularly update them and adjust your strategy if needed. Commitment without tracking is meaningless. Set a schedule for check-ins. Daily, brief updates on what you accomplished. Weekly, review whether you're on track. Monthly, evaluate progress and adjust strategy if necessary. If your current approach isn't working, adapt instead of quitting. No one can force you to change, but a structured accountability system will make sure you don't back down. Will you keep waiting for motivation, or will you start training the discipline to truly transform? Practical exercise. 4. Commitment to action. You can learn all the principles, but if you don't act, none of it matters. Write down one specific action you will take within the next 24 hours to change yourself. Not a vague plan, not a general promise, a clear, measurable step. If you want more discipline, wake up an hour earlier and exercise immediately. If you want more confidence, start a conversation with a stranger. If you want better emotional control, spend 10 minutes meditating and journaling. No action is too small, but if you don't act now, you will keep procrastinating forever. Share your commitment with a friend and ask them to check on you. When someone else is watching, you hold yourself more accountable. Every great transformation starts with one small decision. Will you take action, or will you keep waiting? Group sharing and community connection. Your journey is not over. Take a moment and ask yourself, what have you learned from this journey? It doesn't matter where you started. What matters is that you moved forward. Everyone has a different starting point, but all successful people share one thing. They never stop. Reflect and share. How has your mindset changed? Are you still afraid to take action? Or do you now understand that every change starts with a decision? What barriers have you broken through? You once told yourself, I can't, but do you still believe that now? How does it feel to act instead of procrastinate? Have you realized that fear is never as scary as you think? You can keep these realizations to yourself, or you can share them with others and grow together. No one succeeds alone. The power of community. No one grows alone. You need an environment that pushes you forward, a group of people who challenge you and make you better. Have you ever seen someone achieve greatness without support? Even the greatest individuals have a strong community behind them. Elite athletes have coaches and teams optimizing every move. Successful entrepreneurs have mentors and networks supporting them. Strong-minded individuals don't walk alone. They build ecosystems that help them thrive. Want to go far? Go together. Find and build a community of like-minded individuals, people who are constantly growing, never giving up, and always willing to help each other through challenges. How to build a strong support system. Update progress and share experiences. Regularly share what you're working on and the challenges you're facing. Don't be afraid to share failures, because every failure is a lesson. Hold each other accountable. Have a person or group that keeps you responsible for your commitments. If you fall off track, your community will remind you and push you back in the right direction. Stay motivated so no one falls behind. Everyone has days when they feel like giving up. A strong community lifts you up when you're down. Every great journey comes with challenges, but if you walk with those who share your vision, you will never fall. Don't let your journey end here. You've come a long way. You've learned how to control your thoughts, overcome fear, build discipline, and act instead of procrastinate. But this is not the finish line. If you stop now, you will return to where you started. Progress only matters if you keep going. What will you do next? Will you let these lessons fade away and fall back into your old habits? Or will you keep moving forward, solidifying your discipline and never stopping? You can stop and let life take over, or you can keep pushing forward, stronger, more disciplined, and fully in control of your destiny. Build your community, stay motivated, and keep growing. You have started this journey. Keep going and don't let it stop here. Final summary and call to action. You can keep procrastinating, or you can start changing now. The choice is yours. Everything you need to succeed is already within you. The mindset, the tools, the strategy. But if you don't act, it all remains just theory. You can wait another day, another week, another year, or you can decide right now that your life will never be the same again. Your mindset determines everything. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Everything starts with your mindset. Change your thoughts, change your actions. Change your actions, change your life. You don't need someone to push you. Real transformation only happens when you decide to rise and take full responsibility. No more waiting, only action. Leave here with a clear commitment. No more procrastination, no more excuses, no more waiting for the perfect time. Only action right now. One final question. Will you stay the same, or will you rise and become the strongest version of yourself? The choice is yours. Every day you procrastinate is a day you lose the chance to become a better version of yourself. A year from now, will you be proud or regretful? Start now. Hit subscribe to continue this journey of self-mastery with us. Don't let your future self regret. Act now.